So the next thing that we need to do is that we need to connect these wires appropriately. So if we take a look at the Wikipedia page, we can see that this is pin 1, blue is pin 2, orange is 3, half brown is 4, and brown is 5. So brown will be ground and half brown will be the ID pin. So we will need to connect the resistor between these two pins. And then this will be connected to the connected brown pins. The red one will be connected to the green wire. And let's see, number 2, that's this one, so that will be white will be paired with blue. And the last one is, let's see, 4. Orange will be paired with green. So we can try with the potentiometer first, this one. And then we can also play with the resistors in this bag. So the resistors we will make some sort of circuit maybe, or maybe we will connect it to a breadboard so it's easy to play with, because I don't have a switch and we need to be able to switch between these fairly easily. So I don't have any buttons or anything like that I can remember. So we might put these into a breadboard and then we will focus on just using this potentiometer here. And then we will use it. So we will need some headers, a board here, this one, and of course the other end of the wires. So let's get started. So there are a variety of boards here. This one is probably overkill because it's way too big. This one probably too big as well. This one is quite nice in case we're going to solder in the resistors later on, even though it is quite big. This one maybe. So let's just take these two away, and they are double-sided as you can see. So that's quite cool too. Now these holes, they're not connected, so they're not like a breadboard where it's easy to make a circuit, or a lot easier, I would say. So if we take a look at the beep sound, and you can see if we touch 2 of these, to see if I can get this into the picture as well. And this one too. So let's take this one, touch these 2, nothing happens. Not easy when you don't have a lot of space. See? Nothing, nothing, nothing. So as you can see, we'll have to work a bit with that. But we can solder in, for example, this device. Let's see, does it fit here? It does. So this one could, for example, go here maybe. And then we need some of these wires from the USB connector. They need to go in somewhere as well. And they need to be connected with 4 of these headers here. So we could start with, for example, either this device or the headers, I guess. We can start by cutting off the headers. So let's see. We need 4. Cut, hold here. And here we have 4 headers. So these headers will be where we connect these wires to, from the USB to TTL cable. And we will just put them in somewhere, I guess. So I guess we could, for example, this one is nice because we can solder it in and then we can connect it on the back side, I guess. I'm not sure if we're going to use solder bridges on the back side or what we're going to do, so I will have to think about that for a brief moment. But we can certainly work with this or this one. Alright, so I guess the easiest way is to use some of these as wires between these and then connect them with that. So for this device we will need to use these two pins here. Well, we can use any, but these two will provide 619 kilo ohms of resistance. You can see that here again. Go. Because that's the most interesting stuff that we want to play with. So let's start with the wires. And first step. Alright, so now I have stripped off the insulation on the cables. So we will just do this on all of them. Call this 1. And then we will put it through the other side like so. And then we will need some soldering thread. Where is it? Oh, have to be careful. Soldering irons are very hot. And this one actually looks quite good, but it's not covering all of the connector or the pad. So we'll just put this here. Good. See if I can put on a little bit more solder on it. So now you can see it looks like a little tent, so that's good. And let's see, that was green was number 1, so blue is number 2. So we go up here. So normally I would cut these wires off on the top, like these wires, but we'll just keep them in this case. we're gonna place it top down. Alright, so we need to connect the brown wire through this loop here. Let's see, yeah, that's the correct one. So the brown wire needs to go through here, then here, and then here. And this one needs to be connected to either directly here or through this terminal. So we can start with the half brown, I guess. It's also good to actually check your work sometimes. So, for example, it looks pretty messy, you know, this little board. I think it does, at least. So if we take it to see if there's a connection, you know, when they touch. So for example, we can test if the green one is connected to the first one. And you can see it is, so that means that there's a good connection. And the second one, and the third one. And we can also test if the other ones are connected to each other. So you can see there's nothing happening. Also the second one is not connected to this one or this one. And the third one. So that way we can see that our circuit is actually good enough. And I even tried making a connection from, for example, the green pin up here and all the way down to the green pin down here. So that way I know that it should work when we hook it up, because we've put a lot of work into it already. So that's why it's a good idea to check your work before you continue sometimes. So the next thing that I want to do is that I want to connect some of the last wires. I want to connect this wire to here and then from here to here. So this is going to be interesting. Actually, I'm not going to connect two wires here because yeah, when there comes something if I connect something here to here and then from here to here, then it would choose the path of least resistance, which would be just over this wire instead of the resistor. So I'm going to connect a wire here and then a wire here from here and from here to here. So I hope it will work. Alright, so now it's done. So this was quite a task actually, and I'm sure I could have come up with a better idea of soldering all these wires on. Now this part was easy, so was these two, this potentiometer, which is being used as a variable resistor or rheostat, and the headers for the USB to TTL device. And on the back side we have pin 1 is power, pin 2 is data minus, pin 3 is here, that is data plus I think, and then we have the ID pin that goes to the potentiometer, and then it goes through it, and then it comes out here and goes to ground. And the other ground, the normal ground, it goes from here and directly to ground. And I've measured that they're not short-circuited, so they're not touching each other. But I'll have to do another test because it's getting late now, unfortunately. But I will test all these pins to make sure that they are not touching each other. So I'll test this one, test the connection, this and this and this. And I also tested that the resistance from let's see, from the pin 4 and over to ground over here is exactly 619 kilo ohms. So that way I know that if everything that I've monitored or measured on this board is correct, then it should work. So that's good news. So let's see if it works in the next part of the video. Cross your fingers.